living life to stay. Hey, hey, 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 love yourself first, explicitly. You overtook yourself to move with that energy. Empower your self-esteem. Self-love is king. That's the only way to win. That's how you empower your dream. Living life to stay. Hey, hey, living life to stay. Hey, hey, living life to stay. Hey, hey, living life to stay. Hey, hey.
Hey y'all, happy Mindset Monday. Oh my gosh. Hey Wallace, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you so much. Hey everybody, how's it going? Oh my gosh, it seems like it's been forever since I have done a live, especially in this format at home. But yeah. I had a subject ready for today and everything. And I'm like, you know what? My mind is still kind of in vacation mode. Today has been a pretty, not today. This has been a pretty slow week. We got home Monday morning, late Sunday night, early Monday morning. So I've had a full week at home, but yeah, I don't know. It's taken me a minute to adjust to being home and getting back in the swing of things. I usually do a YouTube video when I come back from vacation about how to do the reset from coming back from vacation, because it is an adjustment. If you're gone longer than like 2 or 3 days, you forget about real life, especially if you totally unplug, which is what we did. I took my laptop and was planning on doing some work, and I really didn't do that much work, which was a good thing. But yeah, I have had to totally readjust. And then I came back and I haven't been feeling the greatest since I've been back. I think that's just an adjustment, readjusting to regular food and all of that. So it has been a very slow week. And so I knew I was going back live today because I had so much going on in the beginning of July. And so I knew, and I thought about it all day. But then in the last couple of hours, dang y'all, these locks are long. In the last couple of hours, it kind of slipped my mind for whatever reason. And I have just been acting silly, messing with Wallace. And I have an alarm set for every Monday at 6:45 to prepare for the live and get everything set up. So thank goodness I have that, because it went off and I'm like, oh my gosh, I go live. So when I tell y'all, I was in panic mode, because y'all know how I am about commitment. Unless I say in advance I'm not going to be showing up, or unless there's an emergency, I show up. And so Wallace is like, are you still going to go live? You only got 15 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not going to do my regularly scheduled programming, because I like to kind of go over what I'm going to talk about and have things fresh in my mind before I go live and things like that. And I'm not going to come in front of y'all and be ill prepared. So in the last 15 minutes, I created a new thumbnail, did all the things, reset the time for 7:10, because I'm like, you know what? We just gonna chat today. Hey, how are you, Sheer Magic? Hey, stay in chat. I got to go back and watch y'all vacations video. Praise God that y'all made it home from Hurricane Burl. Yes, girl, it was an ordeal. You have to go back and watch the video. And the video, we got a lot of, hey, Dawn, how are you? It's been a while for me too, girl. I took a couple of weeks off as far as my regular lives. I've just been doing pop-ups. But yeah, you got to go and watch the video. But the magnitude of that hurricane, we still were not able to capture it on video the way it was and how it sounded. That was the thing that Wallace and I couldn't get over the most, was just how it sounded, just the roar of it for hours and hours and hours. And if you are somebody like me who has any kind of anxiety, with anxiety comes that, control piece where you want to be able to control things. And that's how I felt like I just wanted a button or a switch at a certain point just to be able to tap out and say I was done. Like, okay, I had enough. So it was a lot. And I've been through several hurricanes. I even ended up driving through Hurricane Hugo. But something about this one just hit a little different, no pun intended. But I think it was also because we weren't home. My normal safe places, even though they say go in the bathroom, we were right there at the waterfront. So it was just different. Yeah, it was definitely scary, Dawn. No, you wouldn't have freaked out. If I didn't freak out, you wouldn't have freaked out, but it was a little nerve-wracking. And in the beginning of the storm, for the first few hours, we still had power. So I still had Wi-Fi, and there were some other people on the resort. We have a Facebook group where, we kind of chat, because our resort has like a cult-like following. And Wallace and I didn't even realize that for the first several years. We thought we were the only ones who had completely fallen in love with this resort and go back year after year. And then it wasn't until I invited my sister and her husband to come to the resort with us, and she found a Facebook group about the resort, did I realize that a lot of people go back to this resort year after year because it has such a mom and pop second home type of feel. And so I'm in that group. And so several people in the group happen to be at the resort at the same time. And so we were kind of chatting about how loud it was and what's going on down in your area and what's going on here. But then when I lost that capability to kind of keep my mind, even though my mind was still on the storm, because we're talking about the storm, I still was occupied with the conversation. So I wasn't fixated on the storm. But y'all, when that power went out, it was like, okay. So I was like, Wallace, you just got to talk to me. You just got to talk to me. But we made it. We're home safely. It was so funny because when you watch the vlog, you'll see we got interviewed by our local news several times, and we were on TV here, I guess, constantly. It was a big story, just the storm, because the storm was headed to Texas. So Wallace and I actually got to experience the storm twice. Yay us. It wasn't that bad here. Now I know in Houston it was really bad, but we just got some rain. But still, we got to experience the same hurricane twice. But evidently we were on the news like all the time. They interviewed us twice. And so we had so many friends reaching out to us. And one person actually thought we died because they just showed, a couple from Texas and the hurricane, and our pictures came up, and she was just like halfway paying attention, and she was like, girl, I thought y'all died. And then I talked to another friend, my girl Monique, today, and she mentioned the same thing about the picture popping up. So yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Demetria. And so that's something else I wanted to talk about. I'm going to be speaking at the You're Worth Fighting For brunch on Saturday, which, Demetria, is it completely sold out now? I know there are a couple of my YouTube Lifer Tribe members who are actually coming from out of town to the conference, Demetria. We have someone coming from Houston. We have a couple of people coming all the way from Virginia to the conference. I'm like, Dad, y'all really love your girl. Cause I'm like, y'all know this isn't like my event I'm putting on, but they want to come and hear what I have to say. And so I did share it on my Facebook. So there's 5 tickets left as of 6 o'clock. So shoot, that was an hour and 20 minutes ago. So if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area or can be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area on Saturday, it would be awesome to see your face in the place. And thank you already for those of you who are in the Lifer Tribe and immediately got your tickets and your plane tickets and all that to come. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is just so wonderful. And what is so crazy about that, like in that same mindset, is if y'all seen the vlogs, why did I run into some Lifer Tribe YouTube subscribers of mine in Mexico? Now they're from North Carolina. I believe it was North Carolina, but I was in the pool our first day there. And I'm just talking to Wallace, because they have 2 pools. There's more of a party pool. It's an all adult resort. And oh, thank you so much. Yes, that support means a lot. It does mean a lot. Oh, thank you, Demetria. Thank you. And you are too, girl. And congratulations on this endeavor. But I'm in the pool just running my mouth. We're in the chill pool, but it's a more mature resort. So even the party pool isn't like, wow. But Wallace and I, we chill. So we're in the chill pool and I'm just running my mouth talking to Wallace as usual. And I hear somebody saying, ma'am, and there's not a lot of people in the pool, but we're in Mexico. And even if it's somebody, you know, who knows me, I'm going to think they're going to say Stae or Wallace. So I'm hearing ma'am, but I'm not paying attention. But you know, after you hear something a couple of times and nobody responds, you can't help but to look. So I look and it's a gentleman standing there. He was like, yeah, you. And I'm like, hey. And he says, are you a YouTube personality? I'm like, it kind of caught me off guard for a second. And then I had to process and I'm like, well, yeah, I am. And he was like, oh my goodness. And then he tells his wife to come over. He was like, yeah, it's her. And he said, this is my first time meeting somebody from YouTube, but you know, you're a big reason why we're here. We saw your vlog where you and your husband came here, and he said, and I heard you talking. And he said, at first it was just like a familiar voice, but then I was like, that's that lady that be on YouTube. And he said, he told his wife, well, I'm just going to go over and see. Worst case scenario is not her, and she'll just say, no, that's not me. He is like, but I have to check. But it's so funny to me that he recognized my voice. People always say I talk funny. I don't know. Hey, Chris, how are you? I don't know where I got this accent from. I think it's a hodgepodge of things. I am from the East Coast, born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I left there when I was 27 years old, moved to Virginia Beach, and then I moved here to Fort Worth, Texas in 2006. And then, you know, my grandmother was from Virginia and I was around her a lot when I was little. Like, I don't know, because my family has always said I talk funny well before I even moved. So I guess I just created my own little dialect. I know, isn't that awesome? And so, yeah, it was just so great. And I was able to talk to them a little bit when I had my camera, and I did drop his channel because he's a new YouTuber. I think he only has like maybe under 20 subscribers right now and just a handful of videos, but he was asking me questions. So y'all know how I am. I'm there being Coach Stae, giving him all the advice that I can, but it was really cool. It was really cool. So I'm like, and I've run into subscribers here before in Fort Worth. I ran into someone in Costco before, a young lady and other people, but it was just kind of different being in Mexico and then being in Mexico. And even though they're not from Mexico, they were from North Carolina. So I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, so I made the comment on my blog. I said, I'm worldwide like Candy Burris. Y'all remember when Candy Burris said she was worldwide, but which she is, and I'm not, but I guess I am worldwide. Technically, right? Doesn't that still make me international? Because even though he wasn't from Mexico, shoot, they saw me in Mexico. So I'm international now. I'm adding that to my one sheet. I'm international. I tell y'all all the time, celebrate every single win, every single win. Yes. Oh my gosh. I know, Dawn laughing at me. You know, I'm crazy, but yeah, I'm adding that to my one sheet. I am international, but so much. Oh, you worldwide too? Okay. I love it. I love it. And you know what? Let me go ahead and put the link up here. Thank you, Dawn. In case y'all anybody wants to join me up here, because I really don't have a topic today. I really just wanted to get caught up, get acclimated, get back in the swing of things, and just chit chat. And there has been a lot going on, y'all. Oh, that's what Candy said. Oh, because I great say, let me put that link up here, Sheer Magic, and you tell us your story of worldwide-ism. Because I'm like, I want to hear that. I love that. I celebrate everybody's wins. But what was I going to say? So we've had a lot going on, right? So we went through the hurricane. And again, if y'all haven't watched the vlog, then you won't know this. But we came home. It was really Monday morning. It was Monday morning, early Monday morning. And our daughter-in-law had gone into labor. And so we have a new grand mini. So my new grandson, King, was born on July 8th. And so that was really, 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 hey, Bevy, yes, international. I am international. Yes. So good to see you, Bevy. I love you so much. I love you so much. Yeah, we gotta celebrate. We gotta celebrate. But yeah, my new grandbaby was born. So it was like we came through all that. And even when we got back to the States, something was going on at the airport. Thank you so much. We had to sit on the tarmac for a while. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And for the first time ever, they actually brought a bus to the plane. So we were just like out in the middle where all the planes were, these huge planes, and they brought a bus out there. We had to board the bus. Then they rode us over to customs. They had blue and red lights out there. I don't know what was going on, but the whole thing was just an adventure. We get up to customs. We were able to get through customs pretty quickly because, you know, my husband, he be working his magic. So he had something that he had downloaded on the phone. So we were able to kind of not wait in that line because it was supposed to be like a 40-minute wait. So we got through customs and then we got to come home and then head to the hospital. Once we got up, got dressed, all that, to meet our grandson, who is absolutely adorable. Oh my goodness, he is amazing. And y'all know May comes up with the nicknames for all the grandbabies. So his nickname is Breeze because he's so cool, y'all. He is easy breezy. He is so cool. The faces he makes, he is totally unbothered. I just love him. He just has this look like, just love him. So I can't wait to be able to share him with y'all. I don't know when the big reveal will be, but just trust when I tell y'all, he is absolutely amazing. So he is the youngest of 4 and the second boy to carry my husband's middle name of Lee. So he is King Lee Hall. I don't know if my daughter-in-law is on here. You know, she be in here incognito because she don't want nobody to know she's here. So if she is here and I called her out, she really ain't going to say nothing now. But yeah, so we came home to him. So that's been amazing. Just, oh my gosh, just there's nothing like a new baby. And yeah. So just great things. And then I have a new project that I'm working on for the city, which is really taking me to new lengths, something else that I can add to my resume that I haven't done before. I always have done executive coaching, but I'm taking my executive coaching to a new level. And so that's exciting. So just a lot of things. And I'm just loving life and enjoying it and just kind of taking it all in stride. We have another trip planned. We're going to be going away at the end of August. And so just keeping active, enjoying life, because one thing that I've noticed is once you get to be a certain age, life starts to look a little different. Well, for me anyway. And you can kind of take it a couple of different ways. Like, we know none of us are going to live forever. And I'm not trying to be morbid or a Debbie Downer, but once you get to be a certain age, you start looking at, you know, how much life you have left to live, and you want to be able to enjoy those times. And so if you ever find yourself in a time of like woulda, shoulda, coulda, in a time of, regretting things, or a time of feeling like you're too old or whatever, don't waste this second half of your life. Yeah, it hits different in those mindset. Like, don't feel like you're too old to do the thing. Just do the thing. Don't dread the fact that, oh, my best days are behind me. Like, it bothers me when I hear people say, you know, especially women, when they'll talk about past relationships and be like, I gave him the best years of my life. Well, why are you claiming that? Why are you claiming that whatever happened in the past to be the best years of your life? You still have years ahead of you. So why not make these the best years of your life? And that's something that I've really been wrapping my brain around lately, because you can get to this part of life that if you dwell on the past too much, if you let yourself start doubting or questioning your past decisions, if you let yourself start feeling like, okay, I really haven't accomplished much, you can get stuck in a really dark place. And so what I've adopted is the best is yet to come, truly. And I am going to live my life to the fullest. I'm not going to dwell in the past. I'm not going to let past traumas. I'm not going to let past mistakes. I'm not going to let past relationships. I'm not going to let any of that deter me from getting what's still left for me out of life. I'm not going to say that my best years are gone. I'm not going to say that I've given anything the best years of my life. I'm going to say that the best is yet to come, because whatever has happened has already happened. And you can't unring the bell. You can't undo what's already done, but you still have time to make a difference and make a change. Because there was a time when I felt like I was too old to step into this arena of social media and YouTube. But what I realized is my life experiences in and of itself brings value to these platforms. The things that I have been through give me the credentials that I need to be able to come and talk to people. So instead of thinking like this is a young people thing, or, you know, I'm too old to do this. No, those are exactly the reasons why I should be doing that. I used to say that too until I changed what I speak on. Yeah, you have to change your mindset. You have to change the things that come out of your mouth. And on Saturday, the conference, like I said, is called I'm Worth Fighting For. And so I love the way that she has it broken down into different categories. So I'm speaking on I'm worth fighting for emotionally. And then somebody else is speaking on I'm worth fighting for financially. And so, and then there's a couple of others. Mentally, I think is one as well. I'm sorry if I'm not remembering everybody, but that's one of the main things that I want to talk about is, yeah, you have to live your life. LYFE, love yourself first explicitly. And a big part of self-love is giving yourself that grace, giving yourself that forgiveness, giving yourself that space to just be a human being. Let's see. I'm not speaking that into existence. No, we can't. We can't. Yes. The best is yet to come, because I don't know. Hey, Jamie, how are you? How are you? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. You got to explain all them emojis to me, girl, because I see a tree. What, you suffering with allergies? Is that what you're saying? I'm kind of feeling that. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling that. You're correct. Emotionally, physically, mentally, and financially. Okay. Okay. So I think I had hit them all. Thank you. Thank you. But that's the thing. And that's why I love, you know, that theme, I'm worth fighting for. And you're worth fighting for at any age. Don't give up the fight just because you're getting older. And it's just so much, okay, you're in the bushes sick. So I did kind of good. I'm like, I saw the tree. I didn't get in the bushes. Yeah. So I was like, is she saying she's suffering from allergies? Girl, I hope you feel better. You know, I'm sending prayers and good vibes your way for healing and full restoration. But yeah, you have to know that you are worth fighting for at any age. And the thing is, we live in a different day and age now where mental health is talked about more. It's not quite as taboo. Self-love is talked about more. It's not quite as taboo. And so a lot of us of a certain age, a lot of us Gen Xers, we were just raised to be strong, be tough, let it roll right off your back. Nothing bothers you. Nothing hurts. You're good. You're good. You can take it. And so we didn't know what it was like to fight for ourselves emotionally and mentally. And so it's our time now. It's our time. It's never too late. Like there were a lot of things that I didn't know back then that I know now. So I'm not going to let the fact that I learned it late in life keep me from living that way. It's like, no, I might be 52 years old and maybe I wasn't, maybe it wasn't until I was 40 that I really learned the true meaning of self-love and all that. And so that means I am going to really take a deep dive into self-love at this age in my life. Hey, Trish, how are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, he is amazing, Chris. He is amazing. But yeah, it's just like I am constantly working on being the best possible version of myself. And one of the things that we have to do, and the biggest part of self-love, because I don't even know if I finished that thought, was being able to forgive yourself, being able to move on, and being able to realize that everything you went through was for a reason. And sometimes you may never even really truly see the reason yourself. Maybe the reason was just to be that example to someone else. And so you just have to learn how to do that. That's what I'm doing, working on self-love. Yeah. And it's so funny because most of us, it's so much easier for us to extend that grace and forgiveness and love to other people. And sometimes we extend it to people who sometimes really don't even deserve it from us. We extend it to people who sometimes have hurt us. We extend it to people who have sometimes done way worse things that we have done, but we still can't find to extend it to ourselves. For some reason, we have, especially a lot of us women, this perfectionism type of complex where we feel like we're supposed to be perfect and we were never supposed to make any mistakes. And then a lot of times we made certain mistakes because we really didn't know any better, or because it's what we thought it was best at the time, or because we just didn't have the support, or we didn't have that mentor or that positive role model to teach us. So, don't be so hard on yourself. Oh, I'm sorry, girl. I'm so sorry. Yeah, and it's really terrible this time of year. Yeah, get better. Get better. We all sending you some positive juju and prayers. Yeah, we didn't know. Like, not many people are, even when we talk about, sorry, y'all rocking back and forth. I got y'all set up all janky. I tell you, when I say I rush to do this live, but even when we talk about things like self-sabotage, it's not intentional, like you're not aware of it, but I want us to become more aware of it, because one thing that helped me on this journey of self-love and positive self-talk and a positive mindset was realizing that I had the ability to correct myself and to change my thoughts just like that. And so as soon as I would let a negative thought creep into my mind, as soon as I recognize that and that I'm going down that rabbit hole, I immediately correct it with something positive. Anytime I'm down on myself about maybe a mistake I made or a poor choice, as soon as I realize that I'm being hard on myself for that, I immediately replace that thought with something positive I did, something great I did, a great decision I made. Because for whatever reason, it's so easy to dwell on the negative and to harp on the negative and to be hard on ourselves. But it is really, really difficult for a lot of people to harp on the positive. When I have coaching clients and I ask them to share with me positive things that they've done, great decisions that they've made, they struggle with that. But if I can ask them about past mistakes or things that they wish they would have done differently, they can rattle things off just like that. But if you're honest with yourself, the good far outweighs the bad most of the time. However, it's a mindset, I think, where at some point we were taught or we thought that it was wrong to think highly of yourself. It made you arrogant. It made you conceited. And so we block that stuff out. Like, you don't want to toot your own horn. It makes you look like, you think you're better than other people. And that's not the case. And so, because sometimes if you're not the one doing it, you can't depend on anybody else to do it. And I think that's what happened to so many of us. We were taught that you shouldn't think so highly of yourself. You don't need to be tooting your own horn. That makes you conceited. That makes you arrogant. That makes it seem like you're all that, which that's a thing too. Why shouldn't you think you're all that? Why shouldn't you think you're too good? But that's a whole different thing. But then you're being taught that you shouldn't do that yourself. But then there's nobody else doing it. But there are people who are quick to call you out and tell you what you did wrong. There's people quick to ridicule you. So where is the positive reinforcement coming from? So my thing is, girl, do it yourself. I don't care if they think you're conceited. I don't care if they think you're too good. I had somebody tell me that back in my college days. She was like, yeah, I just never wanted to really come around you because you walk around here and act like you too good. And I'm like, hey, Tuber Chat, how are you? And I'm like, I don't know what exactly that means or what you mean by I think I'm too good. But for certain things, yes, I am. Yeah, I am too good for certain things. I'm too good for negativity. I'm too good for drama. I'm too good for wasting my time. I'm too good for a lot of things. And you're too good for that too. But if those are the choices you make, then so be it. But I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, I don't think I'm too good. What do you mean? Like, but people will try to use those kind of things against you because they don't feel good about themselves. And what happens is when we allow those thoughts to infiltrate our mind, then we start doubting ourselves, and that's where the self-love goes away, because we're not liking what we see anymore. And so I just feel like the mindset is just so important to always just stay in that good space and don't let anybody ever convince you that you shouldn't think highly of yourself, because the goal is to be able to operate in excellence. Because this is what I'm going to tell you. People who think highly of themselves, and it's not in an arrogant way, it's not in a negative way, are usually very good to other people, because they don't feel like they have to compete against anybody. They don't mind sharing the shine. They don't mind sharing information. They don't mind sharing support because they're not insecure. People who think highly of themselves usually are excellent friends. People who think highly of themselves are usually very dependable people. It's the people who doubt themselves, question themselves. It's the people who don't, and I don't care how they show up. People who seem arrogant and cocky, do not believe that for 1 second that means that they think highly of themselves. A lot of times that is behavior where they're acting out because they don't feel as high of themselves as they like to. But you want to be around people who love themselves, because the more they love themselves, then the more genuine love they can give to other people. That's right. There, people have told me I've changed, and I say, good. Right. Right. We are meant to change and evolve. And yeah, that's the thing. People will say that all the time. Oh, you changed. Oh, you acting funny. Like, no, I'm not acting funny. I'm just acting different. Yes, I am. And I'm supposed to. And the thing is, people either want to keep you where you are and always throw your past in your face, and they want to stay in that past, and they want to try to act like whoever they believe you are is not a good person. But then when you change, then that's bad too. Like, what do you want from me? What do you want? And I had to determine a long time ago, I couldn't be the kind of me that other people wanted me to be, because other people want me to stay in a place that keeps them comfortable with who they are. Because if I continue to do better, then that's going to make them feel threatened, because they're not doing the same work, and they're afraid of losing that because they have comfort in my dysfunction. And so as I started to grow and evolve, that is a clear way to see who's really with you and who's down for you and who's a part of your tribe, is who sticks around doing the positive change. Because a lot of people say you can tell who your real friends are when you're down. But to me, you can tell who your real friends are when you're up, because when you're down, they say misery loves company, or people sometimes don't mind having that pity friend, that person they feel sorry for. It's easy to keep you around when you're down. But when you start evolving and growing, in my opinion, that's how you see who your real friends are. And sometimes the advice they might give or the comments they might give, it's like, that's not where I'm at all, but they're trying to keep you in that negative headspace. Let me see. Hey, Lachey, how are you? So good to see you, boo. Yeah, people will try to keep you in that place to keep them comfortable. And I had to realize it is not my responsibility to stay stagnant in order to keep other people comfortable. It is not my responsibility to babysit grown folks' emotions and to act a certain way so that other people don't feel threatened. I am going to continue to chase my happiness. I'm going to continue to chase my success. I'm going to continue to chase my strong mental health, all of that, no matter how anybody else feels, because I'm not going to stay in a low place just to keep you comfortable. And I'm telling you, just watch that, because people always, because to me, it's negative people who say, oh, you see who your real friends when you're down. Because people don't mind being around somebody who's down when that's where they want to keep them. I'm telling you, they will call and check on you all the time because they checking to make sure you still in that sunken place. They will woo, woo, woo. They will, I told you so. Oh, I hate this for you, girl. Yeah, I don't know. That just has not been my experience. And then as soon as you're going through something, it's like they want to bring up different things. They want to make certain comments to kind of keep you there. Pay attention to that. But when you up, a lot of people don't want to fool with you. I mean, I've had people who have said before, why are you acting so happy? What? Girl, yeah, I'm telling you, it's true. It's true. So you have to pay attention to that. Don't get so caught up in the cliches and the Facebook post and all that stuff when people say, think for yourself and just kind of pay attention to how many friends you had when you were down, as opposed to the friends you have as you start rising to the top. Pay attention, or pay attention, even if it's not by number, pay attention to who they are and the quality of friendships. Pay attention to the times in your life where maybe your friend group has changed. Pay attention to the times in your life where maybe you seem to not be getting along with certain family members and friends. Where were you in life? Like, which friends were there for you when you were down and you really thought it was a good friend, but when things started turning around for you? I'm telling y'all, it is. Yeah, I was just ready to say that. It's sad, but the truth. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, Miss Wilson, how are you? Hey, but I'm telling you, I had a friend when I was young, one of my best friends. And I'm talking about, from kids all the way up to early adulthood. And when I was 19, I got pregnant with my oldest son. And that friend was on the regular path, like going to college, doing all the things or whatever. And that friend, I felt like, was so there for me. Like, even though she was going to college, I was having to stay at home. She was checking on me all during my pregnancy and just like woo, 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 woo. And just like, just there for me, I felt. And then whenever, I had my son, and I kind of went through a bad time for a few years because my life was not going at all the way I planned. Like, having a child at that age, I ended up having my son when I was 20. I wasn't super young, but that just was never my plan at all. And so I was really kicking myself for getting myself into that situation. And now all of my plans for college and everything, at least for that time, had been derailed. And I'm working a job and trying to go to community college. And I was just really down on myself. And that friend was there for me that whole time. But when I say there for me, at that time, I felt like she was there for me, but she really wasn't doing anything but just kind of checking on me. But she's still living her life, doing her thing. Not that she shouldn't have been, but I didn't realize it at that time. But I feel like I was just more of entertainment and just a charity case. Like, it wasn't like she was offering me any great advice. It wasn't like she was giving me any options. It wasn't, she was just, there. But as years went on, because of my personality, I got myself out of it. I got a good job. I started working at the bank. I started doing things. I started living my life. I ended up getting married, and just different things started happening in my life. And then I no longer had that friend. And it was just like, as long as she felt like I was beneath her, as long as she felt like I was struggling, because what I didn't realize, that there had been competition in that relationship the entire time. And now I had finally made the huge mistake that knocked me down those pegs and let her shine. And she was comfortable as long as she felt like I was beneath her. But as soon as I started to get it together, that friendship ended. So be careful about that. Also, the amount of time you've known someone doesn't mean you should hold on to that relationship. Sometimes people you've known the longest just can't see the better you. Absolutely. And sometimes the people you've known the longest are a part of the reason why you're not the better you. Let's be real about that, So you have to be careful. I've experienced the same thing. Yeah, it's a trip. So just be careful about that. Don't be so quick to give people credit because they're there for you when you're down. Now, again, there's a difference. There are some people who are really there to just support, but you got to use that spirit of discernment. Hey, J3, how are you? Thank you so much for tuning in, good sir. Yeah, you have to use that spirit of discernment, because everybody who is on your side is not necessarily in your corner. And that is really true. Sometimes you're just entertainment for people. Sometimes you just, make people feel better about their situations. And so you have to be really careful. Also, when you get advice from people, pay attention to the advice that they're giving you, especially when it's unwarranted advice. Just pay attention. Be really clear about words people use. Be really clear about their tone, because sometimes people will say things to you and they'll act like they're coming from a good place, but really they're just trying to make a dig. Really, they're just saying things to you that they've just always wanted to say. Be really careful about people who are quick to tell you what someone else has to say about you. Be real quick when somebody wants to give you somebody else's opinion of you, because my thing is, I'm always interested in, what did you say? Or what do you think of me? Or what is your opinion of me? I don't need somebody else telling me what somebody else said. I am very, very cautious about whose information I accept, because to me, as an adult, if somebody has something they want to say to me or about me, they need to come directly to me. There's no need to go through a middleman. I'm very accessible. All of my information is out here on the World Wide Web. You can probably find everything you want to find about me, which is probably not a good thing. But if you want to contact me, I'm not somebody hard to contact. And so I'm always a little leery of the message carrier, because my thing is, you can tell me something all day long, but my thing is that information was brought to you. So what did you have to say? Yes, the fact that they will sit there and listen makes me question our friendship. Yeah, because my thing is, everybody is not confrontational, and I don't expect anyone to necessarily fight my battles even when I'm not there. But the least you can do is say, well, that's my friend, that's my girl. I'm not going to sit here and engage in a conversation if you're just going to talk negative about her. At least say that and remove yourself from the conversation. If you're not a confrontational person, if you don't feel like defending me or whatever, at least say that. But don't just sit there and, because I had that happen to me before, and I asked the person what they said, and their response to the person was, because they were like, I don't even know how you could be friends with her, da, 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 da. And their response was, well, everybody has their own opinion. That's all you had to say? Everybody has their own opinion? Okay, Captain Obvious, we all know everybody has their own opinion. So, because my thing is, at least in the conversation, what made them feel comfortable talking about me like that to you? And so I don't know. I'm just someone where direct conversations work best for me. If you have an issue with me, come talk to me. I don't have a problem with that at all. I don't have a problem if someone feels like I've said something or done something to offend them. If I've hurt your feelings, just come talk to me. And I don't know why, what it is about me that's giving some people the impression that I'm not approachable. But I'm very approachable. I love the conversation. I love the open dialogue, because again, being self-aware doesn't mean that I know every single time when maybe I've said or done or looked at somebody some kind of way that made them feel some kind of way. Just come and talk to me. Come and talk to me. If we had a conversation and you weren't really clear and picking up what I was putting down, come and talk to me. I love a crucial conversation, because I know we all receive and perceive information differently. I understand sometimes the dialogue is just about the different dynamics and how we grew up and where we grew up. I know, hey, Cece, how are you, boo? Cannot wait to see you Saturday. Demetria, if you are here, this is one of our guests who's going to be coming from Houston. Yes, Demetria, who is the host of this weekend's festivities, she was on, so hopefully she is, but you will be meeting her on Saturday. But what was I saying, y'all? Oh, I told y'all the story before about when my husband and I were first dating and whatever, him being born and raised in Texas, me being born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Just the way I talked was a little different than what he was used to. And he would take things so seriously when I would say them or think that I was mean or whatever, like, oh my gosh, that hurt my feelings, or why whatever, when that's just the way I talk. And so I don't mind if I come across as, because I am a very direct person and I shoot straight from the hip. And sometimes people don't receive that well, or they think that I'm being mean, and I'm not. And so I don't mind somebody saying to me, well, when you said this is what I heard. Or when you said this is what I felt. I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that. Yes, she will be in the house. I'll make sure to make that introduction. Yes, the Lifer Tribe will be in the house. I wish my girl Neek was on, because she's coming all the way from Virginia, all the way from Virginia. So I am excited about this. And then to let you know, Demetria, these are people who have met me just through this. So it'll be my first time meeting them in person as well. So it's just such a huge, huge honor that, you know, you all thought enough of little old me to make the travel to come. But yeah, so anybody, and that goes for y'all too. If I say something and you're not exactly feeling what I said, tell me. The only way we can grow is from hearing how other people perceive us. And what I say all the time, y'all will hear me talk about that spirit of discernment all the time, because you don't have to accept everyone's criticism, even if they feel like it's constructive. You don't have to accept everyone's feedback, meaning you don't have to necessarily change your behaviors just because someone gave you some criticism or feedback, but you should at least receive it. Meaning that if you are a self-aware person who is trying to strive for excellence and always willing to evolve and change to show up at the highest level of self, never shut down the opportunity for someone to genuinely tell you how they feel about you. Because whether you're going to use it to make a change or not, that's up to you, but you'll never know how you're being perceived if you're not at least willing to be open to hear it. And once you hear it, if you're really self-aware and if you're really about self-improvement, then you'll be able to decipher and determine whether you need to make a change or not, but at least be willing to hear it. So I've had people come to me with certain things where I'm like, dang, I didn't even realize I came across like that, or that's not even what I meant. And maybe I can change the way I deliver something like that in the future. Or yeah, I do owe you an apology because I never intended it that way. But then there's other things that people have said to me where I'm like, no, I meant what I said and how I said it, and I'm not changing it just because it made you feel some type of way, because sometimes the onus is on them, right? Sometimes people are super, super sensitive and don't want to hear anything. Because y'all, I'm telling you, I have spoken at events before, and this ain't going to happen at yours, Demetria. We're not claiming this at all. But I have spoken at events before where there have been surveys picked up after I spoke. And I've had a couple of occasions where people did not like what I had to say because they felt, and this is when I'm speaking in a corporate environment, and I'm talking about soft skills and emotional intelligence in corporations and how we should act as professionals, how we should show up at work, how we should, what's appropriate and inappropriate conversations in the workplace, and things like that. And so this has been more in corporate settings where they give out the surveys. And I've had people say, well, I really didn't like what she had to say because it sounded like she was telling me I couldn't be myself, because, people know how I am and I'm just a jokester by nature, or people know how I am. I may talk loud or use curse words, but I don't mean any harm. That's just how I am. And when she came in, it sounded like she was just saying I can't be myself and I'm going to be myself no matter what. Well, you're going to be yourself right in the unemployment line. Like, no, I'm not telling you that you can't be who you are, but there is a time and place for everything. And so when I get feedback like that, I'm not changing my delivery at all, because you're somebody who just does not want to change your behavior, and you're trying to blame it on me because you do not know how to behave properly in a business setting. So that's what I'm saying. Just because you get feedback, like, yeah, I want the surveys every single time I go somewhere and speak or give a presentation or do coaching. I want a survey. Every one of my life coaching clients, when we are finished with our program, however long it is, I give a survey because I want to know how I can improve, because I'm not perfect. I always want to grow and evolve. But there are certain things, because I'm self-aware, because I do my work. If you're complaining to me because I'm telling you something that I know is appropriate and you just don't want to do it, no, I'm not changing that. So always be willing for the feedback, always be willing for the constructive criticism, but then trust yourself enough to know, because sometimes people will use that constructive criticism and feedback as a way to manipulate you into behaving the way that they want you to behave. And so again, discernment. I can't say enough about discernment, girl. Yeah, people will try, like, what you mean I'm telling you you can't be you? No, I mean, but to me, you should be multifaceted, right? So even though I'm always Stae, I'm never going to act like a completely different person. But the way I am chilling at home with Wallace and the kids is not the way I'm going to show up at the city of Fort Worth when they have me sitting in front of a room full of judges to do a presentation. Like, no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going to come walking in that room and say, what it do, y'all? No, you know what I'm saying? Is that not being me? But I have professional me. I have silly me. I have, there's all different types of me, and I know which me needs to show up. And so there's nothing wrong with, and we actually should have multiple personalities because you can't just be the same way all the time because, that business personality at home, doesn't necessarily fit. But some people just don't know the difference. And so I have had that before. Yeah, that's just how I am. And people know who I am. And if I'm offending people or if people, can't take me, then I'm just not for everybody. Okay, but you're going to end up not being for this job because usually and unfortunately, by the time people are calling Stae Hall and I saw in to do some training, that's usually because it's a last ditch effort to have people stay out of the unemployment line. So I wish more companies would bring me in like during their orientation and onboarding to kind of teach some of these lessons. But, we live in a society that is more reactive rather than proactive. But yeah, y'all. So this chit chat, I don't even know what we were supposed to be talking about today. Nothing but just chit chat. And I wanted to catch y'all up on things. So the new book, I've been writing a new book, and this book is going to be different because my first 3 books have been on the devotional side, and this one is going to be more of a memoir type of book where I am sharing my life in small stories. I'm not ready to reveal the title yet, but the book is very much underway. And it will be released in 2025, early 2025. Not ready to reveal the release date yet, but that's something else I wanted y'all to be on the lookout for. Cece, did you get your book? I finally mailed it the day before I went on vacation. Let me know if you got your book because I'm so horrible with mail and stuff. So yes, thank you so much, Demetria. Yes, so I have been struggling with whether or not I was ready to write my story. And with a lot of encouragement from my sister and my husband and my brother-in-law, I have decided to write my story. So that book is going to be released. Oh, thank you so much, Dawn. It is definitely... it's challenging, to sit down with your own thoughts. Okay, I'm glad you got it. You're welcome. To sit down with your own thoughts and have to kind of rehash some things, in your life that aren't the most pleasant. Thank you. And then thank you so much, Lachey. And the thing is, I never want anything that I do, my intention is never to hurt anyone else, right? And so that's always a delicate part of doing what I do as a content creator, the way I am a content creator and sharing my life as a life coach, as a transformational speaker, as an author. All of that has become because I felt like my life and my story lends value to other people. I do everything that I do to uplift, support, and encourage other people. And most of all, to let other people know that they're not alone, to give someone that they can relate to. And so that is why I do what I do. However, and my husband knows what I'm getting ready to talk about, I didn't live my life alone, right? And so there are other people involved in my story that I've never intentionally wanted to hurt. I've never intentionally wanted to put in a bad light. But what happened, and you played a part in it. And I just had to get to the point where I realized that it wasn't my responsibility to protect other people. Am I looking to slander anyone? Absolutely not. Am I looking to ruin anybody's life or make somebody look terrible. No, I just want to tell my story. And the only reason I want to tell my story is because I truly, with everything in me, believe it will help somebody else. Why else would I do this? It's not bringing me a whole lot of comfort. It's actually difficult a lot. It's not, it's definitely what I believe I've been called to do. It's what makes the things that I've gone through make sense to me, right? Being able to share and relate to other people is what makes all that make sense. And even with some of the videos I've done and some of the chats I've had with y'all, I've already gotten some backlash from people who feel like I shouldn't be saying certain things, or people threatening me like, oh, okay, you want to talk about this? I'll talk about that. Well, one thing about me is I'm an open book. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing that I'm embarrassed or ashamed of. Anything that y'all don't know is just that I haven't gotten around to it. I don't have anything to hide. And so those threats don't mean anything, but I just wish that people could understand that I have a right to tell my story. And when you truly are living in your passion and your purpose, and you feel called and compelled to do certain things, you're not going to be able to rest until you do them. And so I've decided to go ahead and do it, because somebody's waiting for that book. Somebody is going to read that book and it's going to be life-changing to them. Somebody is going to read that book and be able to forgive themselves. Somebody is going to read that book and be able to be a better person. Somebody's going to read that book and know that anything is possible. Somebody's going to read that book and be able to be a better mom. Somebody's going to read that book and be able to be a better wife. So I can't keep sitting on that, because I know the power in it, because I know what me going back through it has taught me and how it's helped me to be who I am today. So that will be coming out. I'm working on it now. And it's going to be a bunch of short stories, but all true stories about your girl, Stae Hall, when she was little Stae, all the way up to today, and just the things that I've been through in my experience, all in hopes of helping other people. And there's just no doubt in my mind, I wouldn't be doing this. Hey, Shawnee, how are you, sweetheart? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. But I wouldn't be putting myself through all of this if I didn't think it was going to help somebody else. I wouldn't. And so, yeah, so that book is going to be coming out. I'm writing it still now and working on some things and tweaking some things. And so I'm excited about that. So that's something else I wanted to catch y'all up on. And then I have another endeavor that I'm working on. And this one, I am partnering with my son, Ian, aka Nunny Butters. And we are coming out with a line of candles, body butters, and things like that, because he is really into scents for men and things like that. And so since I call him Nunny Butters, then the line of the body butters and everything is going to be called Nunny Butters. And so that's something that we're working on. And so, Lachey, I might need some of your expertise in that. It's going to be for men and women, and it's going to be the whole thing is going to be about life. Love yourself first explicitly. And so we're working on some things along that line, getting those sense. So that's something else to be looking for in 2025, because, we are over halfway through 2024. And so normally for me, this is the time of year where I start getting into the projects that are going to be popping out, because you cannot wait until I tell everybody that whole, well, thank you, because I'm going to need some help, girl. I'm going to need some help. I got the stuff, and yeah, I'm going to need some help. But you cannot wait until those vision board parties in January to start planning out your year. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you waiting until January, it is too late, especially if you are a business person. You need to start in June, July, getting your stuff ready. And that's why I tell people it is a very novel idea to do the vision board parties in January. I have done them in January. I may do future ones because I'm here for the people. I want to help you. But anytime I do the vision boards, I always tell people this should not be your first or last of the year. Do them constantly. I have my vision board right across from me, and a vision board doesn't always have to be this big old grand thing on a poster board and all that kind of stuff. It can be in a notebook. but you need to start planning for that next year once you get midway through the year before. And so this is usually the time where I'm starting to announce and come up with what the things are going to be for the next year. So that line, the Lifeline Love Yourself First explicitly with Nunny Butters, will be coming out in 2025. And so it will be fragrances for the body and the home for both men and women. And so it's going to be the body butters, the candles, the bath tea bags, and different things like that. So yeah, you definitely want to get ahead. I agree. It's better to start ahead of time, go into the new year with change and plans already. Yeah, I mean, in January, it's a good time for you to evaluate, right, how the year is going to start. So if you do a vision board party or a strategic planning meeting, which I do all of them. I do my vision boards. I do strategic planning. Do that. You really should be looking at things. Thank you, Cece, every quarter. But when I'm doing my big planning for the next year, I usually start it in June for the next year, halfway through, start working on things, doing my research. Because just think about it. If you wait till January, a lot of things you may need certifications for, licensing for, you may need to go to a class, you may need to buy stuff. So you starting all that in January. So who knows when you're going to really get this stuff off the ground. So I use the second half of the year to start gearing up for next year. So then in January, I can be ready to hit the ground running. And I've already done my research. I have applied for any licenses, certifications. I've already started on my marketing. So I can start launching stuff. You don't want to just start getting, get to work. I'm telling you, nobody is really doing that. I don't know. Successful people aren't doing that. I don't know where we got that in our head that, January is where you get started. I mean, it's better to start in January than not at all, but just, you heard it from Stae, but waiting until January means that you're getting stuff planned for the end of the year. So you want to definitely get ahead of it, at least with your research, and have a plan. You can't start planning for the new year when the new year is already here. What is you doing? It's January 1st. It's the new year. I'm getting ready for the new year. Well, it's already here. So you mean you're getting ready for the next year? But again, anytime is great. It's better than not doing it at all. And I just say, as a business person, you need to start looking into, every quarter, just doing some strategic planning and, just seeing where you can grow, where you need to make improvements, where things can be better, what you need to tweak. And it should just be an ongoing process. And even in your personal life and, whatever goals you have personally, and which that leads me to another update. So y'all know I've been on this Wegovy journey. And so everybody is like, oh my gosh, I need you to put out another Wegovy update video. And so the reason why there hasn't been another Wegovy update video is because there is no Wegovy update. What you say, Dawn? My fault is I have plans. I just don't act on them. We're going to fix that. We're going to fix that. Cause the them ain't real plans, Dawn. But we're going to fix that, Dawn. Let me know how I can help. But I mean, we've all been there as well. We have all been there as well. But yeah, so the Wegovy journey, the reason why there's no update is because there hasn't been an update. I really don't have anything to update. I've lost 8 pounds on Wegovy. I've been on Wegovy now for 4 or 5 months, and I've only lost 8 pounds, and I've gained and lost that same 8 pounds. Now, I haven't ever gained all 8 pounds back, but it's, it is what it is. And I'm up to the second dose. I was trying to stay on the lowest dose for as long as possible because I'm just that kind of person when it comes to medication. And I just wanted to give it a chance. And so I went to my doctor and she was like, well, you're not supposed to stay on that first dose. That first dose is just about getting your body acclimated to the medication, making sure you're not allergic to it, making sure that you don't have any really bad reactions. So let's move you up to the second dose. So move me up to the second dose, same thing. So I have a doctor's appointment on Wednesday. We're going to see. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue to titrate up to the doses or not, or if I'm just going to try to continue to, some things are just going to be, my goal may be unrealistic. I'm not sure, especially I know I could lose the weight and get in the shape that I want to get into if I was really vigorous about my eating habits and in the gym. But to be quite honest with you, I have no desire to be in the gym for hours every day. And I don't know, that's just another thing about getting to be a certain age, it's just like, do I want to spend the rest of my life counting every calorie? Because I know that so much. I've never had a weight problem before in my life. And so a lot of this is about being a woman of a certain age, being menopausal. And so I'm fighting two different things. I need to embrace the fact that I'm no longer a spring chicken, and that's okay. This body is no longer the 25-year-old body. And I thank God that, and I have a whole gym at the house. And that's what Lachey, that's the problem when I'm talking about being in the gym. It's right there. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Like a whole gym. I might have to take y'all in there. If you see some of my vlogs, it's in there. Whole gym in there, weights, everything, whole gym. But I just don't know, what I want to do, and how much I want to put into this. And so we're going to see. And now they're talking about Wegovy could cause blindness. I don't have the best eyes already. I've been wearing glasses since I was like in the first grade, and I did have an eye disease as well. So I just don't know, y'all. So I may do, or I'm going to do a video just about that and my experience with Wegovy. But 8 pounds down is better than no pounds down. But I do go to the doctor on Wednesday, and we're just going to talk about it and see what the best steps are going to be for me. I'm like, I don't look bad for an old broad, and I do have to just kind of realize my healthy weight from when I was 25 and 35 may not be the same healthy weight. Now, my BMI has gone down, which is great. But my biggest thing was wanting to get off the blood pressure medication as well. You can lose weight still without going to the gym or working out for hours. I'm trying. And Lachey, I used to be able to, like, I've lived a ketogenic lifestyle you laughing at me, girl. Yeah, when I tell you the gym is right there. Like, I mean, there's cardio in there. There's weights in there. There's resistance in there. There's a TV in there. There's music in there. Like, yeah. I mean, we even have that thing in there where you can hang upside down. Like, yeah. So when I say go to the gym, I mean, come up here. And my office is up here. So, yeah. But anyway, but yeah, the things that used to work for me don't. Like, I don't eat a lot. I'm not really a poor eater. I love my fruits and vegetables. I'm not a heavy carb person. I've lived a ketogenic lifestyle for years. Back in 2018, 19, when I was training for the marathon, I was in the best shape of my adult life, and I was just really, really strict. And now those things don't seem to be working for me. So I don't know. Well, you can feel free to come hang upside down when you come here this weekend. Cece, I hate that thing. I feel like my head is going to pop off, but Wallace loves it. I can't talk because I have a whole gym in the basement as well. And I run right past it. Girl, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. And that's when it's like, you're fighting against yourself. Like, I want to do it, but then there's just other stuff that's more important to me. So I don't know. It's a struggle. Sup, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Had to fix dinner and eat. So finally getting to sit down to a cup of coffee. Welcome, Tim. I appreciate you, brother, for being here. Enjoy that Java. But yeah, so that's the update on that. And the thing is, I just got to figure it out. So I'll probably do, or I'm definitely going to do a video about that, but that's why there hasn't been an update. So let me think, what else is there to update y'all on? Oh, so we went to a concert before we left. Lachey saw the vlog and was like, I didn't know Morris Day still performed. So we went to that concert. It was Morris Day, it was Midnight Star, Confunction, Zap, and Jody Watley. Oh my gosh, I felt like I was a teenager again. When I tell you the jams, oh my goodness. Wallace and I was in there. Yeah, we was doing the WAP, everything. We had a ball. So that was a really good concert. That's how we usually start our vacations off, with doing something at home at first. So that was a good time. Y'all got to catch up on the vlogs if you haven't, to see that stuff. But yeah, we had a good time. Oh, I'm glad you said something to Trish, because I didn't even see that comment. I'm going to try to just eat clean and walking daily and lift weights 2 to 3 times a week. I did that for 3 weeks and noticed the difference. Then I got a bad summer cold, so I'm starting over again. Yeah, and that's the thing, Trish. Stuff happens, and then all of a sudden, it's just so hard to get started again. And I don't know why that is, but yeah, it takes one thing, and then you have to create that habit all over again. Because I was walking every day for a while too, and yeah, so I don't know, but I'm just going to hang in there, girl, and you hang in there too. And I know weights for my age is so important to lift weights because we lose muscle mass. And especially like if you're doing anything like Wegovy or whatever, it's really important to keep your protein up and to do weights because you don't want to, just lose all your muscle mass because, they call it, that Ozempic face where people lose all that weight and their face is sunken in and, the flabby arms. And so I was doing good with all that stuff, but, we shall see. I'm not giving up. I just have to get my mindset right and come up with a plan and stick to it. And I don't want to continue to put this medicine in my body if it's not going to work. And I have a really good feeling that my doctor is going to say, you need to move up because I'm still only on the second dose. And so I don't know, Oprah arm wave, girl, you so bad. Oh my gosh, you are so bad, Cece. But I don't know because Oprah was on Ozempic. She finally came out and said that she had been on Ozempic, but I just want to make sure. And I haven't had any really bad side effects from the medication or anything. So, I don't know how many doses I want to continue to try. So I will keep y'all updated on that. But I really think that's it. I told y'all we had the baby, talked about the storm. I told y'all about the brunch this weekend, and hopefully, I'll be able to get some clips and be able to share some of the brunch with you. I need to call you about that, Demetria. Can I bring my camera guy in there to record some of it? But yeah, I'm really excited about the brunch and excited about those of you who are going to be joining me on Saturday. And then, yeah, some great things I have going on with the city. I have another big meeting with one of the assistant city managers tomorrow. So y'all be sending good vibes my way to pick up another project with the city because I'm loving the work that I'm doing here. And my goal is to be able to say that the city of Fort Worth is a soft skills certified city. Yes, absolutely. You can vlog, Cece. I'm looking forward to you vlogging. I'll be vlogging. So yes, please vlog. Oh, I love this. Y'all asking me questions. Y'all know I love Ask Stae. Ask me anything, y'all. And of course, the link is in the chat if anybody wants to join me up here if you have a question. How is Lux? Lux is fine. So Lux got to stay home this time while we vacation. Normally he goes to my son Kylan's house, and he loves it over there because Kyla has a cat and a dog. But he got to stay home because my other son and his wife stayed here and house sat for us with their dog while we were on vacation. And luckily she didn't go into labor until that last day. So that was perfect. But Lux is doing fine. He is downstairs with his papa loving life, but he is doing just fine. How is Maisie doing? I used to be on Ozempic for my blood sugar. That stuff upset my stomach. Yeah, I know it does with a lot of people. Absolutely bring them. Okay, good. Because I meant to ask you about that. So thank you. Yeah, girl, we're going to be vlogging. And how long are you going to be here, Cece? Are you just staying for the day or are you staying overnight? Because I have, like I said, somebody who's also coming from Virginia. So we're going to try to do dinner at my house on Sunday. Your girl going to throw some stuff on the grill. And, I got the pool out there. So you are more than welcome. We just going to do a little cookout in the backyard. Maisie's causing mayhem. Not Maisie with her cute self. Yeah, Lux is always causing mayhem as well. So I definitely get it. Lux has this little donut treat that he's been trying to hide from me and Wallace all day. It's so funny when he gets certain treats, I guess, that he really thinks are special. He hides them around the house like he thinks me and Wallace are going to eat them. But I do play that game with him like you do with babies. If he's eating a treat, I'll take it out of his mouth and then pretend I'm eating it and then give it back to him and then pretend I'm eating it. So I think he really thinks I'll be eating it. So whenever he gets one that he's excited about, he'll go like hide it behind the couch. Or like today, Yes, y'all know how I am about unpacking. I am 99% unpacked. The only thing still in my suitcase are my shoes. All my clothes are washed. I can't say I put them all away, but I am unpacked because y'all know for Hawaii, I just unpacked for Hawaii when I was getting ready to go to Mexico. But anyway, I had my suitcase still in my room, and he took the little donut treat and put it in my suitcase. He is so funny. Oh, you'll be in the area until Monday? Okay, so you need to come by on Sunday. Bring your swimsuit. Come by on Sunday. Yeah, you know it's going to be hot, so I'm going to throw some stuff on the grill. And yeah, I just want to appreciate my peeps for coming in. He said, you ain't eating my treats. Yes, that is how he acts. That is how he acts. He cracks me up and he gets it. And then he'll run really fast down the hallway. And then he looks back at us like, do y'all see me? So I don't know. And then, but finally he ate that one, but he is too funny. Lux is a mess. My daughter-in-law is like, he is not trained at all. I think he's trained. She thinks we have a dog competition. Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad you'll be here, Cece. That's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We can splash around, eat a little bit. Maybe I'll make some of my adult drink boxes. That'll be fun. So we'll have a good time, play some music. Yeah, he's the Eastern Bunny. He thinks he is. He thinks he is. He is so crazy, but I enjoy him so much. But I feel guilty sometimes because, you know, Lux is teeny and I've always had Great Danes in the past. And I love my Great Danes. But I talked to Wallace about this the other day. I just did not have the same. See, speaking of Lux, talked about him. Now he downstairs barking. Somebody must be around the house. But it just wasn't the same connection. Like my Great Danes, I have to say, were like dogs. I mean, they were huge and it just wasn't the same thing. Like they weren't allowed on the furniture, definitely not up on my bed. Like they were huge. And with Lux, he's just like a little baby, but I feel guilty that I wasn't the same way with my Great Danes. And I love my Great Danes, but I was a pet owner with my Great Danes. I am a puppy mom with Lux. There is definitely a difference. Like I call myself his mom. I didn't do that with my Great Dane. So I'm having a little pet guilt because I'm like, I was not the same way, but it's just something different, But anyway, y'all have any other questions for me or anything you want to share? If not, I am going to hop off. Oh, I do have something else to announce though. When I said I'll hop off, and Wallace and I will see you tomorrow with Tuesday with the hallway. I'm really still getting acclimated to doing these lives on a regular basis. And so I enjoy doing the lives, but what we have decided to do is I will be doing more recorded content that is not just vlogs. So if y'all saw right before I left, I dropped a video about 3 things you need to do every day to set yourself up for a great day. And so I'm going to be doing more recorded content like that. And I'm dropping Thirsty Thursday. So I'm not going to come on Thirsty Thursdays anymore, but I'm still going to do Mindset Mondays and Tuesdays with the hallway. And then I'm going to drop some content videos, just some like tips, like, you know, how to have a great day and just little different mindset stuff like I used to do back in the day. And then I'm thinking about, and y'all let me know. Thank you, Lachey, thank you. It's good to be back, and thank you for being here. But y'all let me know in the chat. I'm thinking about starting a Saturday morning live, like a Saturday morning show, which would be called Soul Search Saturdays with Stae, where we just talk about soul search thing. And it'll mainly be geared towards, and excuse me for anybody who doesn't fall in this category, but I'm gonna gear it towards like women of a certain age, like women 40 plus or women going into their 40s, and just different soul searching things about those women. You know, and just the things we go through as women of a certain age. And so I'm thinking about doing that because Wallace thought it would be a good idea for me to do a Saturday morning show. So put a 1 in the chat if y'all think a Saturday morning live, like I would do it Saturday mornings, like around 9 o'clock Central Time, which would be 10 o'clock Eastern, and go live, or sometimes maybe even do a recorded video, but Soul Search Saturdays with Stae. And we'll just talk about those soul searching things about just navigating That counts you out, Tim. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. But yeah, so if y'all think that would be something that's good, put a 1 in the chat, because I definitely don't want to put a lot of time into it or whatever. If everybody's like, I'm too busy on Saturday mornings. But Wallace is like, I really think you need to do a Saturday morning show, especially when I decided to cut out Thirsty Thursday. I'm just trying to make sure that I am very intentional about how I spend my time. Okay, CC a 1, Dawn a 1. I want to be intentional about how I spend my time as well as how I spend y'all time, because I know a lot of you are diehard Lifer Tribe members. Lachey, you said you'll still watch to prepare. Yeah, and I always believe in, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And so I think it'll be good for any woman who, is looking to transition into, because that part of our lives is different. And so I'm always about being proactive instead of reactive. So yeah, I may put a poll on the community tab. Hey, Miss Christine, thank you so much for that 1. And thank you for being here. You've been in the bushes, ma'am. Thank you for being here. I'm going to be in your neck of the woods, kind of, sort of, in August. I will be headed towards, I'll be in Virginia Beach for about 4 days. So I am headed your way. But yeah, there's a lot of things that I wish I would have known before I hit a certain age in my life. But Wallace was like, I think you would really be good doing a Saturday morning podcast. So be looking for that. I'm not exactly sure, because I'm still going to be working out, the logistics of it and what that's going to look like and what kind of topics, because I'm very intentional when I do things. And the reason why I'm dropping the Thirsty Thursday is because I felt like a lot of the tribe just was not really engaged with all the business stuff that I was talking about. And so I just don't want to be wasting anybody's time. I don't want to be sitting on here talking about business branding and one sheets and LLCs and all that stuff if that's not what my tribe is looking for. Even though I'm not niche, I still want to make sure that I'm talking about topics that interest the people who show up the most. And so if y'all are not interested in certain stuff, then I'm not going to sit here and talk you to death and have y'all just sitting here because you're loyal to the tribe. I want to make sure that the information that I give is impactful and that it can be something that you can really use. And I just noticed on Thirsty Thursdays, when we were talking about a lot of the business and entrepreneur stuff, I wasn't getting the engagement that I usually get, which that's how you grow, right? You try things, you look at your analytics, you look at your data. And, I use my social media as a way to connect with people, as a way to share information. And if it's not anything that's making an impact, then I'm not going to keep getting on here and doing that kind of stuff. So anything relationship is good for me. Yeah. So Wallace and I are going to continue to do the relationship, because we definitely know, that stuff is useful. So we'll still be on Tuesdays with the hallway. We'll be on tomorrow. And tomorrow we're talking about, are you a serial dater or a serial relationship person? So that's what Wallace and I will be talking about tomorrow. So Mindset Mondays and Tuesdays with the hallway are going to remain the same at 7:00. No more Thirsty Thursdays. I'm not going to keep boring y'all with all the business and entrepreneurial stuff. I'm going to leave that to the people who do that and the people who follow them for that. But we may start doing the Soul Search Saturdays, and I just have to come up with more of the content and the person who kind of helps me with that. And we can do some brainstorming, because I also don't want the Soul Search Saturdays to be a complete replica of what we do on Mindset Monday. So yes, good night, Dawn. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm about to sign off myself. My 1.5 hours is up. So I came on a little late today, huh? Yeah, I didn't come on until 7:10. And the only reason I was late, like I said, is because I had to change the thumbnail, change everything, and reset that, because I was like, I don't feel like talking about a certain topic today. And I got a lot of stuff to catch them up with. But yeah, so anybody else have any questions? I appreciate those ones in the chat. And then I'll also put a poll on the community tab. Also, to let you know, I do have the membership is open on the YouTube channel. We are still on our road to 1K. So I am up to like 750 now. So we're on the road to 1K. My goal was to be at 1K by July 1st, but that ain't happened. But I'm still here. I'll keep pushing, because YouTube is still great for me and it has expanded my business. I have gotten clients that I would have never reached without YouTube. So I'm going to keep pushing, but the membership is open. So if you want to take a look at any of those memberships, please do, because there's some opportunities to get some coaching there as well. Thank you so much, Cece. And I am so looking forward to you. I just cannot tell you how excited I am to finally be able to meet you in person. But yeah, y'all, so that is it for me today. I thank you all so much for tuning in. Y'all know the drill. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. Always be kind and love one another, but don't forget to live your life. LYFE. Love yourself first explicitly. And I'll see y'all next time. Good night.
Living life is gangsta. Hey, hey. 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 Love yourself first, explicitly. You owe it to yourself to move with that energy. Empower your self-esteem. Self-love is king. That's the only way to win. That's how you empower your dream. Living life is gangsta.